Hi again everybody, Dwayne here. Thank you for joining me once again on Tunes over Twiddlybits. Now, this is my second lesson, and if you watched the first one, you will recall that the last time I spoke extensively about the configuration of the keyboard. For ease of reference going forward, I will just say the piano keyboard. Of course, this type of keyboard configuration is not unique to the piano. You will see it on synthesizers, on organs, and so on. However, as I said, for ease of reference, please permit me to just refer to it from now on as the piano keyboard. So, that said, the last time we spoke about the fact that a standard sized piano keyboard will have 88 notes. Some pianos have a bit more than that. Some keyboard synthesizers have a bit fewer than that. But the bottom line is, however many notes they all have, you will find that invariably it is this pattern that keeps on repeating itself in exactly the same way that gives you however many notes your instrument has. And in my case, this piano that I'm using is a full-size one. It has 88. To isolate the pattern, to make it easier for you to see, I've taken the liberty of covering up all the rest of the keyboard so that you can just focus on this one pattern, because the point I had made was, once you learn how to name all of the notes in this pattern, you can name any note on the piano, because this exact pattern just keeps on repeating itself, and any note that you name in this pattern appears in the same spot when the pattern, you see the pattern again, and not only does the note appear in the same spot, but it has the exact same name. So, here we go. Naming the notes on the piano. The notes, quite frankly, are named after the first 7 letters of the English alphabet. So that means the letters A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. We stop at G. And that corresponds to the number of white notes. When we counted it up, we saw that there were 7 white notes and 5 black notes. So every note on the piano is named first and foremost after one of the 7 first letters of the alphabet. If it is that every note is named after the first 7 letters of the alphabet, but you have 12 notes, then that only accounts for, logically, 7 of those 12. And I've already said to you that it accounts for the white notes, 7 in total. So how do we name the black notes? The black notes are named in relation to the white notes. So you give a letter name to a white note, A. The black notes are A something, or whichever letter, B something, C something. And that something is one or the other. It's either flat or sharp. So the black notes are a letter name with flat or sharp added onto it. I'll explain exactly how that works, but just know that it is only the white notes that have a letter name and nothing more. The black notes are always letter and then either flat or sharp. So, the first 7. Now, let's start from left to right, because that is how we read on the piano. That is how we name notes, just the same way that we read. We read from left to right. So we go from left to right. And let us start with the very first note that we see in this pattern. The first note, the note to the left, to the extreme left, is this one. And this note is always the first note that people are taught when they're being taught to play the piano, because this note is the letter C, third letter of the alphabet. But not only is it C, this one is actually middle C, because as you can see, it is smack in the middle of the keyboard. So here's what it sounds like. This is middle C. No, notice I said the first 7, A through to G, but I'm telling you to start at C. I'll tell you why I did that in a minute. But so let's go in alphabetical order with C. So if this is C, then the next letter is D. Then the next letter is E. This note is E. Next F. Then G. And we stop at G. And then we start over. So this now is where we get to A. And then B. So, I'll explain again a bit later on why I started with C. But for now, what is important is that this is the configuration of the letter names in this pattern. So let's go again. C, D, E, F, G, A, and finally B. And that completes the pattern of white notes. Okay, so here we are. As we said, the names of the notes in this pattern are as follows. C, and I've now labeled them. C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. And of course, you will notice that I've only labeled the white notes. I'm not getting into the actual names of each of the black notes at the moment, even though I've already told you briefly the methodology in accordance with which they are named. But what's important for us right now is just the name of the white notes. And as I said, when this pattern repeats itself, every single note is in the same spot. So the corresponding note, when the pattern repeats itself, this first one will always be C. This one will always be D, E, F, G, always in the same spot whenever the pattern repeats itself. And so, here we are. This is our keyboard with every note labeled. If you notice, C is always at the start of the pattern. And if you want to know how to recognize it, you look for the set of two black notes, and the first of those two black notes, the white note immediately to the left of it is C. Always, as you see it here. Look for two, first one to the left of it, C. Always. So all the C's are here. C, 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 C again, C again, here again as well, here again, and finally the very last one, that is a C as well. And every corresponding note has the same name, is a simple point. I won't take you through all of them. The D's. Notice how they're always in the same spot, pardon me. Okay, now, you might have been wondering before why it is that I decided to start naming the letters, or the notes, pardon me, with starting with the letter C. Why not just start with A and show you where A is and run straight to G and start over? Well, that's simply because, as you can see now, the pattern wouldn't have been captured as symmetrically as I wanted you to capture it. Look, if we had, instead of starting here at C, done this, then what would we have? First of all, we'd have to cut a black note in half, and we'd have ended up with this. We'd have had to cut two black notes in half for you to see A running to G. You just don't get the same effect. I'm sure you realize this. So, this is really the pattern. It starts at C, so be it. But you know that it runs from C, following the alphabet down to the end, and starts over again to complete the pattern. But really, if you want to say in alphabetical order, A starts here, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so on. Okay? The next time, I'll focus in a bit more detail on the C major scale, because as we will learn, the major scale is the basis of pretty much all harmony that we are interested in for the type of music that we want to play, frankly, for Western music. So I hope that this is helpful, and I look forward to your joining me again soon. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks for joining. Bye-bye.